Hey guys, it's Tehi from Skill Issue. We're going to start our teaching people how to get better at World of Warcraft with how to use compare and WarcraftLogs. Now, in my opinion, WarcraftLogs doesn't necessarily do the best job. Their videos, I don't think it's obvious on their website how to use them to learn how to use the website. There's a million different things you can do in WarcraftLogs. And just quite frankly, people just straight up probably don't want to do them anyways. How I learned them is I just kind of played around when I started raiding seriously again back in Legion. WarcraftLogs was brand new to me coming out of college. So I spent a lot of time just playing around and learning how to do them. Most people aren't going to be raid leaders and don't need to take the time to learn how to use WarcraftLogs or care to. Now, in my experience, people that know how to use WarcraftLogs know how to use them really, really good. And then the other side of that spectrum is people just don't know how to use them at all. So the whole point of this video is to teach you how to use compare better. How would you use compare? How would you use it as a raid leader? How would you use it as like just a player trying to get better for a fight at the game, whatever it might be. So let's go ahead and get straight into it here. So when we go to WarcraftLogs, one of the things straight off the bat is, and hopefully most people know how to use this, but just in case you don't, you can select whatever boss you want here. You can select difficulty here. The region is semi-important to me. I'm not going to care about it in this video, but why would you care about region? This isn't supposed to sound terrible. Just please take this superficially. A lot of the Chinese and Korean logs kind of do a lot of weird things, especially with PI, to parse really, really high. And just for the basis of, hey, let's just get better. Let's not try to get a rank 1 parse. Let's just stay away from that a little bit. Spec, class, whatever you might be. If you want a very specific spec, there you go. If you need a very specific hero tree, there's that as well. Factions don't matter anymore. And the current one. Now this include external buffs. This means, do you want PI or do you not want PI in these logs? So getting into it, when we use compare, what exactly is it? Compare allows us to take two players, whether they're in the same log or in two different logs, and just see how they are doing side by side. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, the first things that we're going to do is compare using the same log. So these are two players that I believe are honestly a very, very, very good raid team. We're going to take the two fire mages that they had, 1 and 2, and we're going to be able to compare them side by side. So we're going to be able to see 5 more pyroblasts, for pad flash, 8 more fire blasts. If we go into cast instead of damage done, and we'll talk about that in a little bit more, we'll be able to see the disparity more. Same amount of Phoenix Flames, 4 more Scorches, shifting power, only 6. That's kind of wild. To 12 over here. Fireballs, 11 to 10. Combust, 7 to 7. Looks like they have the same trinkets there. Looks like they both have bracers, so that's great. And now we can look at summary. So before we go any further, let's make sure they're actually playing the same thing. So here, talent-wise, yep, that's spot on. These, for the most part, we don't necessarily care about. It's the spec tree that we're going to care about mostly. And just from looking, looks like they are playing the exact same thing. Next thing, item level. Item level, too different, but pretty damn close. Trinket-wise, same exact trinkets. Weapons, same weapons. And because it's Fire Mage, let's just look at stats. Haste is king in Fire Mage. 600 difference, not that bad. About 4,000 more mastery there. A little bit more verse, a lot more crit over here. And intellect is basically the same. So this is a very, very, very good comparison log to just see what's going on here. So again, let's go back to casts. Casts are going to tell us a lot of the story here. Now, let's say I had a log, and we'll pull it up in a little bit, where the combustions were different. Well, combustion is a really good skill, ability, cooldown to look at because it gets CDR'd. So depends on how well you are or not playing, you're going to get more CDR in this, and you're going to be able to cast it more frequently. Here, it's 7 to 7. Now, crazily enough, because he's shifting powered 6 more times, which to me seems wrong, this has to be ticks as opposed to cast. Yeah, so this is probably 2 shifting powers to 3 shifting powers is what's probably more correct, and it does go off 4 times. So he canceled early by 1 tick twice here, or maybe 1 tick only went off twice, whatever it might be. And this one he went all the way. So 1 more shifting power difference, but 6 more ticks difference, which I think it's 4 seconds per, so 24 seconds of CDR he got extra from full casting shifting power. So we can look at that. Now, the reason why I think casts are better is it actually tells you, like, how are you casting in comparison to someone else? How do you actually play the game, and are you playing it well? Damage done is important to a certain extent, because obviously you like to see how much damage you're doing. Now, when we look at these, some of the casts are going to show up here. You'll see, like, Phoenix Flame, it shows you hits, but not casts. And hits are also incredibly important when it comes to looking at comparison logs. The reason why is, okay, he casted 165 Pyroblast, it got the same amount of hits, right? So on and so forth. There's going to be a lot of classes like Affliction Warlock or Destro Warlock, Shadow Priest, where you get to see Apparitions, Chaos Bolt, Malefic Rapture, those kinds of things, and you get to see the hits from those, and the casts aren't going to be 1-to-1, but you can see how many times they actually hit, which means they hit different targets how many times depending on those casts. And that obviously creates like a division ratio problem of, 91 to 91 means 1-to-1 hits there. But there's going to be other classes that we're going to look at in different videos that will show you like why those hits matter. Fire Mage, not so much. Really the only difference between Fire Mage is the amount of Ignite ticks. Now, since this is a single target fight with no other, it should be basically about equal. But what this tells me is that even though, 5 more Pyroblasts, 5 more Pyroblasts, 8 more Fire Blasts, they hit the same amount of Ignite times, roughly, but it did 60 million more damage. Well, his average hit is about 200k more. Well, that's probably a little bit to do with how much more mastery he has. Maybe it's a critical strike thing. Who really knows? We can go into that another time, but this is just generally how we would use it. Another reason why I think cast is king is it allows you just to look at the timeline worth of cast. Now, I really wish this looked better, but it doesn't, unfortunately. Me playing Fire Mage, pre-cast Pyro into Phoenix Flames. Some people use Fireball, some people use Scorch into Combust, and then you just go into your Combust rotation, use your Hyper-Thread wrist wraps. Looks like they use them slightly differently than one another, and this could be because maybe one of them got a crit in their opener and one of them didn't, and just looking at it, looks like he got 2 crits in his opener, he got 1 crit in his opener because the Fire Blast right here, and he did not. Or he got 2 crits right here, because there's no Fire Blast right here. So, and that's just me knowing Fire Mage right there. So that's how you just compare people using the same log, but using a different log. So let's look for my boy PNZ here. Bang. Now when I'm gonna grab a different log for what I'm about to play, which I'm about to compare it to my Fire Mage, is kill times. So he has a 5:11 kill time. I have a 5-minute kill time. That's pretty dang close. One of the things I would not recommend is going and grabbing a kill that is of a log that's shorter than your kill time. You can do what I'm about to show you to do to make it up, but I don't think that's the best way to do these things. So I found a log that's my kill time or a little bit longer. I'm going to go to the URL at the top because obviously we're not on the same log right now, and we're going to grab this part of his URL. So just copy that, go to compare with URL. We're going to put in what we just pasted. Okay. And now I have his entire raid team on this as well. So this is my alt mage. I help a raid team on the weekends proc from time to time, and this is a progression kill for them. And we can see, again, I have a 5-minute kill time. He has a 5:11 kill time. A blue line is for me, a purple line is for him. And let's just make them so that it's the same fight time. So 5 minutes equal. Right off the bat, he casts a lot more pyros than me. He casts a lot more fire blasts than me. Phoenix Flames got 6 more off than me. Scorch is pretty even. I cast a lot more fireballs, and he got 2 more combust than me. Shifting power wise, same amount of shifting powers, same amount of ticks shifting powers. So now we need to go back and look at the summary. Why is there such a big disparity? Well, our haste, he's got a lot more haste than me. That's for starters. I do have 8,000 more verse than him and 4,000 less mastery. That'll come back for us to talk about a little bit later. I played slightly different hero talents. Just don't know if it necessarily matters on this fight. I already looked at these logs, but we basically play everything the same. I think there's one thing different in the class tree, but it's not relevant for damage. But let's look at the gear compare. Obviously, these bracers are massive for Fire Mage. I've done like 25 Mechagons and have never gotten one, so I'm stuck with these guys. And that obviously is a big reason why he casted so much than me. Now, is that the main and total reason why? Probably not. So there's definitely something that I can learn from this log. So damage done. Again, casts are king, but let's look at damage done. His ignite hits about 300,000 per tick harder than mine does. Makes sense because he has more mastery than I do. My Pyroblast hit for a little bit harder than his do per cast, and that's probably because of the versatility that I have. Same with my Fire Blast, but obviously his ignite just kind of takes him over the top, along with how many more combusts and Pyroblast he got off than me. So this is just one way you can use logs to compare yourself to another player. We can also look at other things like how do we use our defensive, so Ice Cold. And we actually use Ice Cold at literally the exact same time, so that's pretty cool. But I can also use it like health stones and health pots. I can use it like how to use mirror images, which obviously both of us suck because neither of us use mirror images on this. How do we use alter time? Look at this real quick. It's just using it when you get told to go do a mine, basically. But yeah, so that's how you use other logs and compare them to your own. This is just like scratching the surface of what you can do with comparison logs. The next video is actually going to be covering more like, as a raid leader, how do I use comparison logs to try to help people and my players and myself and prepare for a boss fight, a brand new boss fight, or one that we're working on and are progressing and we're having some problems, looking at other logs to help us figure out our pain points. So that's what the next compare video is going to be about. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe. I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want. This is just kind of helping my players get better at the game and hopefully yours as well. Check out the next video. Thanks.